So what are 3 ways to convert your retirement savings into income? Hi there, I'm Stan, the Annuity Man, America's annuity agent licensed in all 50 states. We're going to go through those 3. If I can get all these words out of my mouth, it's one of those things. Haven't had enough caffeine. Need to get more caffeine in me. But we're going to go through those 3 ways after this. Okay, so we're looking at your retirement savings and the 3 ways to convert that into retirement type income, lifetime income. And I know what you're saying. You're saying, Stan, you're just going to be a homer and you're just going to talk about annuities because you just talk about annuities because you don't have a last name and your name's Stan the Annuity Man and your wife is known as Mrs. the Annuity Man. I understand all that. But no, we're going to talk about some non-annuity stuff on how to create that income. The first is a method that's been used forever. It's the 4% rule. It doesn't involve annuities at all. And what the 4% rule is you have a portfolio of stocks and bonds and all that stuff, and the financial advisor says, well, we don't need to lock anything up. We can just take off 4% of the portfolio, and the growth from the portfolio will make up for anything that we take out. And historically, that seems to have worked out pretty well. Recently, on my Fun with Annuities podcast, which comes out on all major platforms every Tuesday, I had the very smart guy, Wade Fowl, on, and Wade has completely and factually destroyed the 4% rule. I'd encourage you to go to my site at The Annuity Man and listen to that replay of the Fun with Annuities podcast. But a lot of people don't want to buy an annuity for whatever reason, or their advisors don't want to buy the annuity for whatever reason. And I always tell people, if you don't need to lock up the money, then don't. Or if you don't need to transfer the risk to the annuity company to pay a lifetime income stream, then don't. And if you can yourself manage the money and peel off that amount that's needed for income, or you have someone that you trust and is very good to do that for you, then great. That's super. The 4% rule. The other way, the second way, is still non-annuity. It's looking at bonds and looking at CDs and dividend stocks and preferred stocks and REITs and those type of things that kick off a coupon, that kick off money and interest rate. That's a way to create retirement income. I don't sell any of that. I used to a long time ago when I worked for Dean Witter, Payne Weber, Morgan Stanley, and UBS. We used to call it Morgan Stanley. So that's a way to do it as well, is to find dividend stocks or corporate bonds or municipal bonds or treasury bonds or whatever, to create that income stream and those coupons so that you can get your retirement income. So those are 2 ways to take retirement savings or that retirement portfolio and convert it into income not using annuities. You're saying, wait a minute, that's pretty cool, Stan. You're not being a homer. You're not just yelling at us about annuities. First of all, I don't yell because that hurt my voice. But second of all, annuities aren't for everyone. They're for people that want to transfer risk and get contractual guarantees, and they want to own things for what they will do, not what they might do. The 4% rule, the first 2, 4% rule, and all the corporate bonds and all that stuff that I just mentioned, those valuations underlying can fluctuate. If you're okay with that, that's fine. If you can manage it, that's fine. If you have someone that's really good managing it, that's fine. The third way, spoiler alert, it's about annuities. Annuities are the only category, the only product type that will provide a lifetime income stream for as long as you're breathing. Period. It's a guaranteed pension payment, for lack of a better phrase. In a pensionless world where less than 10% of private companies even offer pensions anymore, I think the number is 7 or 8% at the time of this taping. If you work for the government, or if you work for a good labor union or whatever, you got a pension, that's great, fantastic, kudos to you, because you worked hard for that, and that's a lifetime income stream. But the third way is to say, you know what, we need X amount of money per month for me and the spouse, me and the wife, me and the partner, and this is how much income we need. We do a reverse engineer quote, and we get the highest contractual guarantee for your specific situation. You already own an annuity. I know you're like, no, I don't. Stan the Annuity Man, there's no way I'd buy an annuity ever. Well, you own Social Security. That's an annuity. If you have a pension, that's the second annuity. If you have an IRA and you're going to start taking RMDs from that, that's in essence a third annuity, because you got to take money out every year. So annuity guarantees are in your portfolio now. The question is, from taking your retirement savings and creating lifetime income, Do you need another? You might not. You might like the first two that I told you about, the 4% rule, or the bonds, muni bonds, corporate bonds, dividend stocks, REITs, preferred stocks, whatever. You might like those better than a guaranteed income stream annuity. Go for it. Knock yourself out. The other thing too, when people talk about annuities for lifetime income, they're always thinking immediate annuities or an annuitized product. That doesn't have to be the case. At the time of this taping, and current interest rates are at a level where there's a lot of people that are saying, all right, let's just buy a fixed rate annuity and I'll just peel off the interest and never touch the principal. You can do that as well. That's the income as well. So just put it in the back of your mind. Annuities are for everybody, but they are customizable from the standpoint of a strategy put together for you. And if you go to my site at theannuityman.com, you can schedule a call with me or one of my team members, and we're going to ask you those two questions. What do you want the money to contractually do? When do you want those contractual guarantees to start? And then we're going to align you with the highest contractual guarantee for the specific product that fits those two questions and those two answers. And you know what? It might be, just pointing at my brain a little bit, it might be a combination of all three of those. It might be a combination of a specific percentage. It might not be 4% of your portfolio. It might be 2%. And you might pepper that in with some corporates or some munis or some dividend stocks, etc. We don't give that type of advice, but I've been on that side of the ledger, so I do understand that. And then you might fill in that other gap, transfer of risk with an annuity, whether it's a fixed annuity and peel off interest, or if it's a lifetime income stream annuity like a single premium immediate annuity. The bottom line is chapter 2 of your life, you're taking retirement savings and you're putting in that income floor that you need to go live your life, and you're probably wanting to set it up to where if something happens to you, your spouse is taken care of for the rest of their life as well, and you want to make sure that something's left over for the kiddies and the grandkiddies, then we can certainly help with you. We can work side by side with your advisor that doesn't handle the annuity part if they have their egos in check and don't think that we're a threat, which we're not. We do that all the time. We work with a lot of fee-only planners, and putting these kind of combination plans together, it works. Bottom line is you need experts. We are experts in the fixed annuity space. We're the thought leader in the fixed annuity space. We're the sales leader in the fixed annuity space. We're licensed in all 50 states. So don't hesitate to schedule a call with us. Don't hesitate to get my books. Don't hesitate to use my calculators. Don't hesitate to get educated at my site at theannuityman.com, because that's what we want you to be. Before you make a decision, that decision is going to be on your terms and on your time frame. We're going to give you all the information you need, period. Then we're going to leave you alone and treat you like a professional. Just remember, with annuities, there's never an urgency to buy an annuity. The urgency is for you to fully understand it, and that's our job. So I get a call the other day, and the gentleman was verklempt, as they say. Pull that up. That's Southern for I'm not feeling too good right now. And the reason he wasn't feeling too good right now is he had a multi-million-dollar portfolio, and he had lost $1 million in this kind of upheaval in the markets. Look at the time of this taping. It just was volatile, and he was like vomiting because he'd lost this money. Now, I had to remind him that he had made money up until this point, so it's all kind of relative, but it's hard to watch that go down. Now, he had a lot of money, and I said to him, because they were using the 4% rule, him and his advisor, and I don't blame his advisor. Advisors don't know when markets are going up or down. They do the best they can and try to limit the risk. But he said, I'm just kind of done with all. I don't want to do the 4% rule anymore. So now we were down to those other two categories, which was the CDs, REITs, preferreds, munis, et cetera, and then the third one, which is either MYGAs or immediate annuities. Well, he had enough money where he didn't have to annuitize anything. He could just buy a fixed rate annuity, a multi-year guarantee annuity, and just peel off the interest. And I said to him, are you going to be okay with that $1 million loss, and you're going to be able to make it up in 4 to 5 years from the standpoint of just the interest on the MYGA if you went in that direction? Are you okay with the fear of missing out? Are you okay going to the cocktail party and not bragging about your stock wins and all that stuff? Now, his wife in the background said, yes, he can do that. And I said, I understand that, Susan. I understand. And she's such a nice lady. But I said, I need to hear from him, because it's hard for, this guy was an entrepreneur. He was a go-getter. He was an ass kicker, as I say. And I said, can you do that? Can you pivot to just guarantees at this point and leave the volatility behind? And he said, yes, because he said, yeah, I think I can do that. I told him, think about it, give us some time. Let's revisit in a week or so or 2 weeks or so, because I want to know that he's okay with not being in the markets anymore, or not capturing that potential upside. So that's one of the other things you need to think about in your head too. Are you willing to shoulder some of that risk? Maybe. Or do you want to transfer all that risk and just live off the interest or live off the guarantees? It's that simple. There's no perfect answers, just bad sales pitches. You just have to be honest. Tell us the truth. We'll tell you the truth back, and we look forward to working with you. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, leave comments, and I'll see you on the next Stan the Annuity Man YouTube video.